For 10 years, the greatest heroes of the ancient world died beneath one city's walls, all over a single woman. This is the legend of the Trojan War, told by Homer nearly 3,000 years ago. It began with a prince of Troy named Paris. Troy was a rich and powerful city on the coast of what is now Turkey. The goddess Aphrodite had promised Paris the most beautiful woman in the world. Her name was Helen, and the trouble was, she was already married. Helen was the queen of Sparta, wife of the warrior king Menelaus. When Paris came to Sparta, he and Helen left together, sailing across the sea to Troy. Menelaus came home to an empty palace and swore to take her back by force. He turned to his brother Agamemnon, the most powerful king in all of Greece. Long before, every Greek lord had sworn an oath to defend Helen's marriage, and that oath now bound them all to war. Agamemnon gathered 1,000 ships and the deadliest warriors alive. Among them was Odysseus, king of Ithaca, clever, patient, and dangerous. And Achilles, the greatest warrior who ever lived, invulnerable but for a single heel. The Greeks crossed the sea and landed on the shores below Troy. But Troy's walls were colossal, said to have been raised by the gods themselves. Guarding them stood Troy's champion, Hector, Paris's noble older brother. For 9 long years, the armies bled against each other, and neither side could win. Then, in the 10th year, the Greeks began to turn on one another. Agamemnon seized a captive woman who belonged to Achilles. Humiliated, Achilles refused to fight, and without him, the Greeks began to lose. At his side was Patroclus, his dearest companion in the world. Desperate, Patroclus put on Achilles' armor and led the men into battle. On the field he met Hector, and Hector struck him down. When Achilles heard, his grief became a rage that nothing could stop. Before both armies, the two greatest warriors finally faced each other. Achilles killed Hector and dragged his body behind his chariot around the walls. That night, an old man came alone into the Greek camp. It was King Priam, Hector's father, begging for his son's body, and Achilles, weeping, gave him back. Still, Troy stood. So Odysseus devised the most famous trick in all of history. The Greeks built a gigantic wooden horse, hollow inside. Their best fighters hid within it, while the rest sailed away, pretending to give up. A Greek left behind swore the horse was a holy gift to the gods. A priest named Laocoon warned them, "Beware, Greeks bearing gifts." But the Trojans dragged the horse inside their walls and celebrated their victory. When the city slept, the soldiers crept out and opened the gates. The Greek army returned in the dark, flooded into the city. Troy fell in a single night. After 10 years, the great city burned. For centuries, the story lived only in Homer's songs, the Iliad and the Odyssey, until a real city was unearthed on a hill in Turkey. Its walls burned, just as the legend said.